Welcome, beautiful ladies. Haley Latham here, and we are on day two of releasing body shame and rewiring self-love. I'm so excited to be here. If you haven't watched day one, it's in the group, so just scroll back up. It's a good session because it's our unpacking session. So we did a lot of unpacking around body shame in that session. We will do a little more of an unpack today before we get into the nitty-gritty of releasing the shame. And it will end up being on a lighter note, which is pretty exciting because we don't want to, sit in the doom and gloom forever, right? We want to be upbeat and feeling better most of all. So I'm so excited to get started today. I always say, we'll get straight into it because I don't want to. I know how valuable our time is, and those of you who are watching the recording. Yes, I'm not there to hold you, but I am holding you. It's really important to remember that and to stop the video and restart whenever you need to throughout, because there might be more stuff that you need to write down that will be beneficial to your healing. Let's just have a quick recap of last time. Um, what came up for you in last week's session? We went quite deep around those feelings, and I know a lot of you have said, like, I didn't even realize I had that much going on there. I didn't think that there was anything, and then all of a sudden it was there. And this is the beauty about journaling is that we can really start to uncover what some of that old programs that are running in the background, um, we can uncover them and find out what is actually hidden, because that's your operating system. If you would imagine it like a computer, it's your operating system, and that's where you've been conditioned to believe what you believe about yourself and about the world and everyone around you. And so it can just be just like your subconscious mind is keeping your heart beating and keeping you breathing and making sure all of your body is working in the way it's supposed to be working. It's also, and you don't have to think about how to do that. The same thing goes for your belief systems and the conditioning and the programming that you were raised with, and you collected over the period of your life through your experiences. So it's important to remember that we don't always know what that is. Actually, we most of the time we don't know what that is. And it's not until we start to delve into it and ask some questions around it and maybe journal on it that we can start to uncover what is the narrative, what is being said, what is the defaults that we say to ourselves or about ourselves that cause us to feel stuck and to feel disconnected from our bodies, and and what are the emotions, most importantly, what are the emotions that we're carrying. Now, this whole masterclass workshop is around shame. It is the lowest vibrational that is the lowest vibrational emotion. So it's one that many of us have carried with us for a long time, and one that is really good to get rid of. So I'm really excited about this. So just have a think about what came up for you in the last session. Bring that front to mind so that we're really working on releasing that. Now we're going to come back to the present moment and just reconnect with our grounding exercise. Just arriving in the space, arriving in your body, and really feeling, you know, connected to this experience so that you get the most out of it. So, just grab a seat, sit on the bed or the couch, maybe put your feet up or have your feet on the ground, whatever suits you. We'll just do a little bit of a grounding practice that will help to bring you into the space. So, to arrive fully into this space, into your body, into the present moment, wherever you are, Just gently close your eyes if that feels safe for you. If it doesn't feel safe for you to close your eyes, you can just soften your gaze. Bring your awareness inward. Take a deep inhale in through your nose. Let your belly expand, hold it. And now exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension that you may be holding. And again, inhale deeply, breathing in clarity, presence, calm. And just hold it for a moment at the top before you exhale slowly, releasing any stress, any expectations, any distractions. Just release. And one more time, take a nice deep breath in, feeling your body with that clean oxygen, and then releasing and just letting your body flop and drop. And as you continue breathing, I want you to gently bring your awareness to your body. Feel your feet on the ground or your bum on the chair. And just imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet, anchoring you in, making you feel stable with stability and safety. And bring your awareness to your heart. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. You can place your hand on your heart if that feels good for you. And scan your body with love. Notice any areas that might feel tight or heavy or tense. And with each exhale, just allow yourself to soften, to surrender, to trust in this moment. This is a moment for you. Space in time where you're devoting your time, your space to heal. And as you breathe, I want you to ask yourself, what do I need from this space today? What am I ready to release today? And what am I ready to receive today? And just allow whatever comes up to be okay. There's no right or wrong answer. Just an invitation to let your body's wisdom come through. Now take one more deep inhale, filling your lungs and your heart and your body with light. And as you exhale, just feel yourself fully here, fully present, fully open to this journey. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes, bringing this sense of calm and connection with you. Welcome back. Now, over the next 3 days, no, 2 days, because we're one day down, we're not just learning, we're healing. And by the end of this, I'm losing my voice because I've been talking so much today. And I've got a lot more talking to do yet. I've got two more sessions to do actually. All right, so by the end of this, my hope is that you will have a deeper connection to your body. You'll have tools for self-love and a new way of seeing yourself. And whatever you wrote down or whatever you set the intention for of what you want out of this space, just keep that front to mind. Now, I'm going to talk about the science behind self-worth and body beliefs. And this is a really important part because when we go through, um, our lives, we have lots of experiences. And so it's really about what, where these things are coming from. So I'm going to use my whiteboard today, because it's just helpful. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see it, or I might have to change it around to mirror. Um, so if you imagine we have a conscious mind and we have an unconscious mind. Yeah, I'm going to need to switch it around. Um, where is it? Oh, here we go. Look at that. Oh, getting all techy now, aren't I? All right. So we have a conscious mind, we have an unconscious mind. The conscious mind's in control of what we do 5% of the time. The unconscious is in control 95% of the time. And that's where all the programming is, right? We're programmed between the age of 0 to 12 into the unconscious because we don't have a conscious mind. So the conscious mind comes in around 12, maybe a little bit earlier. And so we're a child between the age of 0 to 12, and we've got our unconscious mind is like a sponge. It's taking in everything that's happening around us, to us, what we're experiencing, what people are saying to us or around us. I'm going to close my email. Gosh, it's just pinging constantly. All right. So everything that's we're learning, everything we're experiencing is going in there. Now, that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not all just, roses, right? We all had stuff that happened throughout our lives, or especially during those first few years, that were not desirable. When we are in unconscious, when we are a child, we are just in our ego state. It is me, I, and that's all we really can relate to. So what that means is that when say something's happening, say our mum isn't being able to give us the attention that we might want, or she might be saying things, or our parents might split up, or something happens, and then a child can often interpret that as I'm not enough for them to stay together, or I did something wrong, or I'm bad, or you know, or something else. But or ultimately, we are seeing our experiences as they are related to us and us only. We're not really thinking about, oh, mum and dad split up, and that's because dad was really mean to her, or whatever, whatever. We don't have a conscious mind to actually think that through. All we see is um, how we relate to that situation. So often we can form beliefs around being bad, or not being good, or not being worthy, or not being lovable. And this is where it all starts. So if you would imagine, like you're going to be, by the age of 12, you're going to be programmed like a computer on how you're going to do relationships, how you're going to do friendships, how you're going to be as a mum. All of the things is already pre-programmed by that age. Things will change as we do work on ourselves, as we do self-development, as we have other experiences and we meet people, and they have an influence on the way our behavior is or what our beliefs are. That's all going to play a part. But ultimately, that by that age, it's really predisposed as who we're going to be. And it's then we can go on to like our 40s, our 50s, or beyond, and then start wondering, why do I have these same patterns just reoccurring all the time? Why does the same thing happen to me? Why do I feel so shit? And then we're like, okay, I think it's time to do some work. I think it's time to see someone. That's because we've been running that old program for so long and we're just starting to actually become aware of it and that it's not serving us ultimately. So how do we form these beliefs? If we were to pull that apart, we say this is your timeline, this is your past, your future, and your now. And say, for example, this is your life. You're walking along your life. You might be here, and you might be 5 years old, and an event happens. Right? That looks terrible. That's okay. Um, so an event happens, and it might be mum and dad get into a fight, and you get yelled at, and you might then have emotions. You most likely will have emotions. My pen's not liking the fact that I'm holding it up, talking, writing. So you have an emotion or emotions that you experience with that event. That could be hurt, it could be shame, it could be fear, right? Could be a whole gamut of emotions, but let's just leave it at that. So there's the event, there's the emotions. You're feeling all of those things. You then you make an interpretation of that. So you're feeling these things, this event happened, you make an interpretation. Now, your interpretation of it might be, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. That forms a belief system. I'm not good enough. And so then you have this belief system, I'm not good enough, and you turn into your adult self, and all of a sudden you're seeing it everywhere why you're not good enough. The people, the places, the situations, the relationships will all be telling you that you're not good enough. That's your structure of reality now, because that was a belief that was formed. And so this is how our structure of reality is born. It's through the experiences that we have and what we take from that based on the emotions that we felt at the time. So when we get to a certain age, we this is affecting our lives. So I'm just trying to think of an example with one of my clients. I was seeing a lady client the other day who had um, some really big, deep beliefs around um, not being not being worthy of love, not being not being worthy of love and kindness. Gosh, I'm coughing and sneezing. What's going on? So this was eventuating into every aspect of her life. She's not being treated very well by her daughter. Her husband is always sarcastic with her and giving her um, you know giving her no kindness. And so it really does come back to us of, well, what role do I play in that? Because we can be the victim of these situations, of our experiences, and we are, in essence, we are a victim of those situations. However, um, it is our responsibility of what we do with that. We can't change what happens to us, but we can change what we do with it. And that's the most important part, because once we can change what we do with it, that's when it's become a lesson that we've grown from, what we've learned from, because that's what this whole life experience is about. It's about learning and growing and healing. And so we go through life and we have these loops and they just keep going round and round and round and round, like not being able to, you know, figure out what it is that we need to heal. We just keep going, doing the same pattern, getting the same result over and over and over again. But the brain likes to close a loop. And so it's about finding the learning. That's the most powerful part of any experience. It's what was that there to teach me? When anything bad happens to me, um, in my life, And like one of the things was the hysterectomy, right? I had to go right after I was in the initial shock and then initial victim of it, of why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? All of the things that we naturally go through. I then shifted into responsibility. So that wasn't saying that I was responsible for what happened to me. It's saying, "Oh, how do I respond to this now? What is this here to show me? What is this here to tell me about what it is that I need to learn about myself, what I need to heal within myself?" And as soon as I started looking at, well, how did this happen for me? That's when the answers started to come through. That's when I was able to release the energy of the emotion that I'd been carrying for like 40 odd years. And when I released that energy, the cells in my uterus, the cancerous cells, they normalized, like it regressed. So I'm not saying that, to me, it feels like a miracle, but I see it too often where people are able to heal their bodies through doing the work by releasing the emotion. So, yes, miracles happen every day. And, but we have to heal what's coming up for us because the body is just showing us that, hey, there's something here you need to look at that you haven't worked on before. No, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but I think that it's important to have that framework, that foundational understanding, so that we understand why we're here and why we're doing this. Um, so, with that being said, that's kind of how emotions and beliefs are formed. Now, when it comes to shame, which is what we're working around today, and I'm going to get my whiteboard again. We might see if the red pen works. Yes, it does. Um, Shame is the lowest has the lowest vibrational frequency out of all the emotions. And so imagine we have an apartment building. Okay. Imagine we have an apartment building and on the bottom floor is shame. Shame and fear's not far behind it. All right. So we have those. And on this level, the first floor, you can imagine looking out the window. There is the trash cans, the garbage, the feral cats, the all of the mess, right? There's rubbish everywhere. There's stinky, diesel trucks and there's all of that. And then there's brick walls around it. And that's all you can see. That's what it feels like, right? Being on the first floor in shame. So if we release shame, what's happening is we're coming up floors. So you might get to the 56th floor after releasing shame and a few other emotions, fear and whatnot. You get to the 56th floor and it's like, oh my God, I can see the palm trees, I can see the ocean, I can see the birds, I can see all of these things. And so while you're on this floor, you're starting to actually see new opportunities. You're starting to see learnings that you didn't see before. You're starting to see what it is that you needed to know from that old wound that you have been carrying around for so long. And it's a pretty joyful place to be, feeling joy, you're feeling love, you're feeling all of these beautiful emotions. So this is an analogy to how emotions hold a frequency. And, on this frequency, we've got disease, we've got illness. But at this level, we've got health and wellness and feeling light and all of the beautiful things. It's important to know that as we progress up that and we grow, and I know that all of us will have experienced growth in our lives and where we've experienced going to the 56th floor, right? But then we'll get to, say, this floor, the top, and guess what's there? shame, fear, all those lower vibrational emotions again. What's that saying? It's time to up level. It's time to still heal the next part, right? So I've only experienced this recently. And what this means is, and I think this is the biggest takeaway from this one, you will never end up back down here when you do this work. You'll never end up back down here. You'll never end up being that older version of yourself. You will always keep going up, right? But it's a different shame here that it's just calling you to do it again, to up level, to a higher frequency again. So maybe I'm getting a cold. You know, colds often mean overwhelmed. So that's just a interesting tip that colds mean overwhelmed. So it's about, what is that about? Self-care, grounding, taking time out for ourselves. Something that I probably haven't been doing lately. Right. Human. I make mistakes too. So this is what it looks like. We're going to do another building. This is a big, tall skyscraper building. Actually, I don't want those there. And if you imagine we've got emotions in our body, and this is, we've got an anger building, we've got a hurt building, we've got a fear building, we've got a shame building, we've got a sadness building, we've got a grief building, we've got a guilt building. We've got these buildings. And we're working with shame today. So we'll call this the shame building. Every time you have experienced shame is a brick in that building. And each brick represents each time you felt shame. What happens is, because we're not taught how to express our emotions when we're growing up, we're not taught how to feel them. We're taught to avoid them. And that's only because our parents didn't have the tools to be able to know how else to deal with it. So when you imagine every time you feel shame, another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick, your building fills up until you get up here and you feel shame. And it is so heavy and it is so uncomfortable that you just can't bear it anymore. And that's usually when my clients call me and come and see me. And they're like, I have tried everything. I have seen all the therapists. I've done all the things, and I just can't take this feeling anymore. And I'm like, great. It's better late than never. And that's where we do this work. So what happens is we don't have to even know what the shame is. We don't even have to know, we don't even have to visit every single time. We only have to go back to the very first time you felt it, release it. And it takes away the foundation. So the whole building falls down. There is no more shame. We release it. And then there might be different shames for different things. Today we're working with shame around body. You might have different shame for different things, which means another building, but we'll see how you go. Like, I really want to get feedback on where you're at after this. But usually people just feel lighter after releasing it. They feel like they can finally be free, free to be themselves, free to be you. And it's like it's a reset. So we've got, in the work that I do, we work through all of those emotions. But today we're doing shame because around the body. And I'm super excited. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me, DM me, shoot me a message, because we've only just touched the surface here, and there's so much more to understand and learn about it. But the most important thing to remember is that you are not broken. I'm going to put myself back to not being mirrored. was unmirrored to mirrored. So we're going to we'll unpack a little bit more around the shame before we go in and release it. But the main takeaway is that you're not broken. You are just filled up with emotion. And that's based on your experiences that you've had in your past. And we just fill up and we need a reset. We need to release it. Like when you have a really big cry and you just feel like so much better after it. It's a bit like that. Now, what else do I want to talk about before we go into it? Um, no, I think that's pretty well covered everything that I wanted to say. So what you're going to need a pen, you're going to need some paper or journal. Um, might be worthwhile having some tissues nearby. Some people cry, some people don't. Often there's tears of joy, which are beautiful. And just a safe, quiet space where you can fully allow yourself to lean into this without any distractions and without any, um, yeah, without any distractions. Turn your phone on silent, um, and close yourself in your room if you need to. So the the way this works is we're working with the subconscious. Now, remember how I said that I'm going to do it again, but I'm not going to. So remember how I talked about we got the conscious and we got the unconscious, right? When we become after the age of 12 and our conscious mind comes in, that's our logical brain. That's the one that thinks things through, works out problems, all of that sort of stuff. But it also is a gateway to the unconscious. So it's kind of guards it. What we do with hypnosis is we relax it down to about 2%. So it's still there to protect you if you need it, but we have access into here. And so that's when hypnotherapy is really helpful because we can go in and reprogram. We can give it new ways of being, new ways of doing things. But with timeline, which we're doing today, we're extracting information, which means we're asking it what the lessons were, what there was there to learn from it, how did it help me become the person that I am today, basically, or whatever it is that we needed from that event that caused that thing. We're not actually going to be going to events though, but your subconscious knows the way, it knows what it's doing. So you don't really need to, um, you don't have to control anything or worry about how it's working or what you need to do, apart from listen to my voice, have your pen and your pad there ready to write because I'm going to be asking you questions. So your body will remain relaxed, your eyes will remain closed, and when I prompt you to answer a question, you can just slowly open your eyes, soften your gaze, look, watch the ball of your pen, and you just write. And you just let yourself free write whatever comes out. All right. Um, and that's really all you need to know. So, going to take you, and so this will be a light trance, which is really just like feels like watching a movie that you're really invested in. It doesn't feel any different to laying on the couch and just being in a bit of a trance state watching a movie. We're going to be working with your imagination today because your subconscious mind is your your imagination brain. It's the part of your brain that can just picture, this or that or whatever. Like if I sit here and close my eyes, I can picture a cup of tea if I want to. I can see it. I can see my favorite holiday place. I can actually feel myself sitting on the beach in my favorite holiday place. That's how easy it is, right? And that's what we're going to be doing. So let me just get my notes up. Wherever I put them is that one. And that one. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions before we jump in. So have your journal out, and we're working with shame today. So if you were to think about your shame that you've been carrying, what is it about? What is your shame about? Just allow yourself to write whatever comes up, whatever comes out is perfect for you. What is that shame about? Is it about what you see in the mirror? Is it about maybe being told that you aren't good enough, that you aren't lovable? What is that shame about? And I want you to rate it. I want you to rate it out of 10, with one being not much of a problem and 10 being it's a huge problem. I want you to give it a number out of 10. How is it blocking your self-love? How is the shame blocking your self-love? And what do you think your life would look like if this was healed and released? If you need to pause me, if I'm going too fast, just pause me. Come back to it. What do you think your life would look like if this was healed and released? What would you feel differently about yourself? What do you feel would specifically be easier for you without this old shame? Now, once you've got those written down, it's time to safely go into the unconscious mind and ask permission to release these. Is that okay with you? Good. Now, sit back, have your pen and paper ready for when you need it. But sit back in the chair, relax. Find a spot on the ceiling and just focus on that spot. So you're sort of straining your eyes, looking up, and just focusing on that spot. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out this time, just allow your eyes to gently close. Allow your body to just relax in the chair. And just imagine now there's a ray of calming light. It's shining through the top of your head, filling the back of your eyes, calming as it continues down the back of your nose, filling your ears, your mouth, down the front of the throat, soothing, calming, relaxing, as it now fills the shoulders. And the shoulders can hold so much tension. And now you feel that tension just drop out. You feel the calming light fill your shoulders with calm with safety, and with relaxation. Now feel that soothing, calming light fill your chest, your tummy, your hips, tops of the thighs. Just listening to my voice and feeling so relaxed now. And now feel that relaxing light flowing into your shin, the tops of your ankles, the tops of your feet, reaching right to the end of your toes. That's it. Just feeling relaxed and comfortable. And now feel that light fill up under your feet to your heels, the back of your ankles to the calves. Feeling even more relaxed now, feeling safe with my voice. The light now is filling the back of the knees to the back of the thighs, all the way to the spine. Spilling out to relax all the muscles and any tension being held in the back. It's just releasing. And you feel that calming, relaxing light filling the back of the neck and all through the head. Now I want you to imagine yourself standing in this forest, and at your feet is a beautiful stone stairway that leads downward into a very safe valley of relaxation. This staircase will lead you into a profound state of deep, deep relaxation. We're going to go down these stairs now. As I count backwards from 10 to 0, each number will take you even deeper. 10. Take that first step down. 9. Deeper and deeper. 8. Way down there. 7. Deeper again. 6. Deeper, feeling very. 5. Going deep. 4. You're going into a deep state of relaxation. With 3 going deep. 2 relax to even move. Feeling very calm. 1 more step. You'll enter this beautiful place of deep, deep relaxation. 0. Welcome to this beautiful place of deep, deep relaxation. In front of you now is a business building with a huge front door. Your unconscious will go as fast as I tell it to. You walk up the 3 steps to the door and you open it with ease. You see a plain and dull long hallway in front. You walk up this long hallway towards a brown door with the words Life Records on it. You push this door with ease, ready to release negative emotions. You see a room full of filing cabinets and you search for your filing cabinet, the one with your name on it. That's the one on the left. Walk over to your filing cabinet, open the drawer and take out the shame file. Take out the shame file and just notice what color it is, what size it is. Is it small, medium, or a thick file? Is it a sludgy file? Is it a soft file, a sharp file? Just notice what it looks like. And you'll see on the other side of the room, there's a huge industrial shredder and a cauldron of fire. But before you start shredding and burning, I'm going to ask your unconscious, is it ready to safely release this old shame that's not serving you anymore? Nod your head. Good. Now, I want you to have your pen on the paper and I want you to write down, what is the biggest positive lesson I can learn by releasing this emotion of shame today? What is the biggest positive lesson I can learn by releasing the shame today? First thing that comes to your mind. First thing, write it down. Whatever it is, write it down. Doesn't matter. Just write it down. What else? What else? By releasing this negative emotion of shame, it is safe for me to feel. Write down the positive feelings you can feel now by releasing the shame. It is safe for me to feel. It is safe for me to feel. By releasing this negative emotion of shame, I now choose to feel. Finish this sentence. I now choose to feel. How do you now choose to feel without this old shame? Without this old shame, my future is now. Write it down. My future is now. How are you showing up now without this old shame? What are you doing differently? Write it down. What is the one big learning that your unconscious needs to know in order to release this shame forever? Write it down. What is there to learn from it? The learnings of which will allow you to easily and effortlessly let go of this emotion. Your subconscious can preserve the learnings, so if you need them in the future, they'll be there for you. What was there to learn? How did this shame help you? What was there to learn from it? How did it help you grow? Write it down. What does your unconscious need to know to safely release it? Keeping the positive life lesson, but not the shame. Keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Feel it lifting, feel it release. What was there to learn from it? The learnings of which will allow you to easily and effortlessly let go of it. And now, what number are you at with that old problem now? 10 being a big problem or 0 being no problem at all? Or is it simply disappeared? If it's disappeared, you can close your eyes, put your pen down, and relax, feeling all of the good feelings. And if it's at another number, you can keep going. What was there to learn? What does your unconscious need you to know in order to release it forever? And just keep writing it down. I now choose to be. I now choose to feel. Write it down. How do you now choose to be? How do you now choose to feel without that old shame? What does your future look like without it? And what does your unconscious need to know to safely release this last little bit? Keeping the positive life lesson, but not the shame. And when you have the answers and it's disappeared, you can place your pen on the paper, close your eyes, relax. If you need more time to work through this, you can pause the video. Keep writing until the emotions. If you're ready to shred the file, pick that file up, walk over to that shred that file, and put all the pieces into that fire pit, into that cauldron, and watch it burn. And now you'll see on the right-hand side, there's a beautiful wooden table with a pile of beautifully colored files on it. Find yourself the most perfect file to replace that old one with. What color do you choose? What are you going to call your new file? You can name it anything you like. Now that that old, crusty, horrible file's gone, what are you going to name this beautiful, colored, beautiful file? You get to choose now. You get to safely accept this into your life. And it's up to you to walk over to your filing cabinet, place your new, beautiful, colored file into that drawer. That's right, you're doing so well. Put that file in and close that drawer. Place your back against it and just take a big sigh of relief. You've done so well. You see the door to the hallway now and you open it with excitement. You look forward to the new positive learnings you've discovered. As you open the door, you notice the dull hallway is lit up with your new color. And you start to skip and run and dance and spin towards that front door. The smile on your face and the joy you feel is incredible. You feel so much lighter, so much happier, so much joy filled. It's like you're a child again. That beautiful little girl skipping and running and dancing and spinning down that hall. You get to the large door at the end of the hallway and you open the large doors and you notice it's changed. It's a beautiful garden. And there you step out onto that garden. You allow yourself to see how positive things are. You're surrounded by birds and rabbits and butterflies. You can smell the beautiful, fresh smell of the forest. And it feels so good because you can have all the things now. You get to be enough. You get to be worthy. You get to be lovable. You get to be proud. You get to be loved. You get to love you. You get to see you for all of the things that you are, the beautiful person that you are. You get to love you again. I'm just going to allow you to sit in these feelings for a few more moments. It feels amazing, doesn't it? And when you're ready, it's time to come back to now. So allowing yourself to float all the way back to now, coming back down into the room, back down into your body, feeling your body in the chair, movement returning to your fingers and toes, coming back down into the room. And when you're here, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. How was that? So excited to hear how that went for you. So excited to hear how that went for you. It's pretty big, right? And these feelings that you have right now are, I'm imagining, quite incredible because some of us, after we go through that, haven't felt these feelings for a very long time. The true happiness, the true freedom to be all of ourselves and to love our bodies, to love our lives, to love us just as we are, right? Now, I want you to message me if you have any questions about it. Pop in the group if you have any questions as well, because that can help other people work through things as well. So that was pretty amazing. I'm going to leave you with some other little tips just to keep you on your way. Whatever learnings came through for you on those pages, I'd really love for you to record those in your phone and listen to them. They'll be I am affirmations. I am free, I am happy, I am joy, I am loved, whatever it is, right? In only the positive. If there were any negatives that came through, we don't need those. It's just the positives, right? So we want to affirm those every day. So you might want to put them onto a beautiful card and have them in your mirror in your bathroom, or you might want to record it in your phone, like I said, and listen to them every day. It's important that we educate ourselves now in our body of the new beliefs that we hold about ourselves based on releasing that old shame um, that we didn't need. So, um, so that the cells start acting according to how we believe about ourselves now, right? We'll talk more about that in the future in the group anyway. But for now, I'm going to leave you with a simple practice to release emotional tension from your body. It's nice to do some breath work. So you can just take some deep breaths. I like to do all sorts of types of deep breaths, but there's lots and lots available online to be able to work out what deep breathing looks like. But even if it is just simply box breathing, which is 4 breaths in, hold for 4, release for 4, and hold for 4. Okay. That's a way in which we can start to release emotional tension. And I'd like you to Also, allow yourself to do some journaling on what body shame am I still carrying that isn't mine? Because this is another one. We can carry shame from others. If you're carrying any shame in your body still from anyone else, one of the best ways to release it from the body, apart from doing what we've done, is to shake it out. um, Move the body, dance. It releases stored emotions physically out of our body. So one of the things that I talk about in sessions is the fact that when a trauma happens, like say for example you're in a car accident or something like that, and it was bad, and the cops are there and the ambulance and all of that, and they come and they wrap you up in a blanket because you're shivering because you're in shock. When we have trauma, whether it's physical trauma or emotional trauma, we want to be able to release that, and the body is naturally trying to release it by shaking. So, if we have an experience where we have pent up emotions, one of the best ways is to actually shake it out like a dog. You know, our dogs do it. If they get a heightened emotion from, getting fear or anxiety or stress or something like that, they'll have a shake afterwards. We need to do that. So it's about, yeah, getting the body moving, shaking it, putting some music on, dancing, all those types of things to move the body and move these emotions out is going to help you in your healing. So please give that a go as well this week. And what else did I want to mention? Yeah, dance, stretch, shake. What ways can you move your body this week? That's what I'd really love to know. Um, I want to finalize this by asking what happens when we stop fighting our bodies? What happens when we stop fighting our bodies? So, one of the things could be that our body is our sacred space. Our body is our temple, right? Feeling safe in our own skin, experiencing our body as a home. It's interesting, isn't it? Once we start to reflect and start switching things around. So, this week's homework, or today's homework, because we're coming back again tomorrow for our last day tomorrow together. So, what we want to do is tonight, today, wherever you are, I want you to get your affirmations from your learnings that we did today in the session and either write them down where you can see them every day or record them in your phone so you can listen to them every day. All right. It's best practice to do this over 30 days. The other thing is, I want you to take some massive action. Massive action is maybe something that you've been putting off that you know you can do that you haven't been doing. It could be some self care, it could be some self love, it could be some rituals or routines that you wanted to get into, like yoga or exercise or meditating or journaling in the mornings or whatever that might look like for you. Take action. All right. It could be something bigger. It could be a conversation you need to have with someone about how they're treating you. Because you finally starting to see your self-love, you can have these conversations with them to go, you know what? This is not acceptable for me anymore. Whatever that massive action is for you, it'll come to you. You don't need to overthink it. Just allow it to come in on what you need to do to help you to really solidify this healing that we've had today. So the takeaway for today is that self-love is a choice that you can start making now. What are you going to do today that proves to you that you are starting to choose self-love for you? Because self-love is a choice and you can start making that today. All right. That is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please feel free to message me, DM me, let me know how you went. If you have any questions at all, let me know, and I'm here for you. Sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel.